Social media pisses me off. I'm over it.
Oh my God, you are a catty little bitch, ain't you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll get into that soundbite from my buddy Cody Rourke of Mile High Sports. He was a little catty earlier at Broncos training camp, and there's a good reason for it, and I completely agree with him. We'll get into that, but anyway, speaking of catty bitches, how are you? Meow. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. A lot to get to. Cannot wait to dive headfirst into this episode. But remember, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening, or maybe you're watching. Also, don't forget today's show is presented to you by High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge, as well as Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. And right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Now, when the games are over, head on over to their online casino to get in on the game of blackjack or poker. They even got over 150 slot games that you can partake in. Head to betonline.ag right now to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. Now, before we get into headlines, I have to bring this up to you. If you hear me refer to today as yesterday or as yesterday as today, it's because my brain's small, okay? It gets confused easily. Also, I'm recording this on Monday night, and I'm going to release it tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning, right? A little peek behind the curtain. Nothing crazy, right? But the reason I'm doing that is my kids are still on summer vacation. But that being said, we are less than a week away before they go back to school. And right now, my wife is out with my daughter getting school supplies, and it's an exciting moment in my in my life. It's an exciting moment for the kids, whether they realize it or not. They're going to be so glad to get back to school because they are sick and tired of hanging out with me, because that's really what happens. Now we try to get them playing with their friends whenever possible, but that doesn't always happen. So the majority of the time, since my schedule is the way it is, they're hanging out with me, and I'm trying to keep them busy doing other things. We got some like membership that I got to cancel at Sky Zone. It's one of those trampoline parks. I just take them there for like 5 hours and let them jump like crazy. It's easy parenting, and they're getting exercise, right? But ultimately, they need to be around more of their friends. They need to be around smarter people other than me. For example, their teachers. Okay. I can't wait for them to be the teacher's problem. And I know every teacher hates it when you say that, but it's fucking true. Okay. That's reality. Parents can't wait to just go, fuck, go to the school. You're the school's problem right now. Okay. Jesus. As I speed off, get out of the car. So I can't wait. It's going to be a lot easier for me to get things down, knock on wood, for me to get things done around the house, whether it involves work or just maintaining the house and getting shit done. But I think it's better for everybody's sanity once everybody starts going back to school. So we're already starting tomorrow. They're going to have to start waking up a little bit earlier. And then as the week goes on, it's going to be earlier and earlier. So they get used to waking up early. But anyway, it's an exciting time for me. I can't wait to get my kids out of the fucking house. If they hear that, they're going to be like, what? No, Dad, that's so mean. You're like, dude, trust me. You're going to be hanging out with your friends, running around, learning stuff, and blah, 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 blah. You're going to be happy. A lot happier than hanging out with me, listening to me do the show. Speaking of that, let's do it. Let's jump into the headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Well, this came in from a listener. I'm not going to put this in the mailbag category because I was going to get into it. But that being said, not Adam Carolla sent me this on Twitter or X. And I think it's a funny story because Italian gold medal winning swimmer Thomas, I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to butcher it. Hi, my name's Scott. I butcher names. Okay. Why? Because I'm an idiot. His last name is Ceccon, and he's Italian, so I'm going to go Chasson. Oh, that sounds, it sounds like Air France. Ceccon. I'm Italian. Let's make a pizza. Anyway, he was sleeping next to a park bench. I'm sure I nailed the name. He was caught sleeping next to a park bench by one of his fellow competitors, whatever, and they took a snapshot, and they took it as more of a comical thing. But I guess this is also paired up with the fact that this Thomas guy came out and was blasting the living conditions in the Olympic Village. He was complaining about the lack of air conditioning and noise inside the athletes' village. When it comes to AC, I'm right there with you, my friend. If there is no AC and it's hot and it's humid, fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. I don't blame them for sleeping, by a park bench. God, I can't stand the heat. I can't. I am the biggest bitch when it comes to heat. Don't like it. I would love if the temperature where I lived here in Colorado was, I'd say like mid 60s all the time. I'd be happy with that. That being said, if it's colder, I'm fine with that. I just don't like the fact that when it's hot, it's a lot more difficult to cool off. If you're cold, it's easier to warm up. I just put on a fucking coat, put a blanket on, something like that. Start a fire, okay? In a fireplace, not like some moron that's setting forest fires or anything like that. Jesus. Don't be accusing me of shit, you fucking dick. But anyway, you see what I'm saying. I feel like it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. So I'm right there with you, Thomas Ceccon. Yeah, okay, you got it. Man, nailed the name again. Nailed it. But also now that being said, the noise inside the athletes' village, that's got to be difficult because, I mean, you're trying to decompress. You're around a bunch of people that you're either longtime friends with, or you're becoming new friends, or you're part of an orgy, stuff like that, right? It's the Olympic Village. Who knows? There's a lot of sex going on, and I'm sure it gets noisy. That's on the village for not enforcing any sort of noise ordinance. But that being said, this is the only guy I've heard complain about the noise. He's just probably one of those fucking bitches that always complains about something. Be like, oh, it's too hot. It's too hot. I can't live in these conditions. I'm just going to go sleep on the park bench. And then, hey, by the way, I'm going to be outside sleeping. You should get your camera. It'd be fun. Yeah, he's just an attention-seeking fucking prick. I bet that's what it is. I would not be surprised, right? If that information comes out, be like, oh yeah, because maybe there have been other people coming out complaining, but you're not really hearing much about it. I don't think I've heard anything about it. But then to just be so dramatic, be like, I'm just gonna go sleep outside next to a park bench on the ground. Okay, maybe a bird will shit on me. I don't know. Look at my life. Fuck you, bastard. I'm gonna go cuddle with my gold medal. Dick. Sorry. It just seems a little bit dramatic. But I kind of get it because I hate the heat. And if those rooms aren't vented properly, they can be a little hot box, and that's not fun. Not fun at all. Speaking of hot boxes, this McDonald's employee was sentenced to prison for setting a fire in a dumpster because the restaurant was too crowded. At first, I thought this guy must be Gen Z. Nope, he was 34 years old. That motherfucker giving us Gen X. Is that Gen X? Either way, what a fucking lazy shit. No matter what bracket you put him in. What a lazy piece of shit. I don't want to work. I'm going to start a fire. Rrr. I think he's getting like 7 years in prison. What a fucking douchebag. Don't do that shit. My God. I always thought it was funny when you would go into, it usually only happened in stores that were consistently slow. If you ever worked at a restaurant and you were consistently slow, then all of a sudden you get busy. You're not used to the busy, and you'd be like, so annoying, it's busy. Well, that's what's, putting, money in your pocket. You're getting a paycheck because people are coming in. And I see that still. And I can recognize it when I go into a location where you see them go, people are coming in. Damn it. Guess we're going to have to stop talking about, what happened last night with Carol and I. Gotta work. What do you want? That's what this guy is. He doesn't want to work. He just wants to fuck around. I'd be very curious to find out if that was a location that was consistently, not busy, and then it got busy, and that's what set him off. Or maybe it was the fact that he's 34 years old working at McDonald's. And I know that sounds like a dig, but there's a lot of people that start at restaurants, specific locations, and then they're like, I'm only going to do this for a couple years. Then they get locked into it. Next thing you know, they're like, what am I doing? I've bypassed all these other opportunities, and I'm still there. And the reason why I say this really pisses him off, he's 34 years old and he's an employee. If you're 34 years old working at McDonald's, I would hope that you'd be at least a shift manager or a shift lead, depending on how they do it. But if you're labeled as an employee, he's probably disgruntled with himself in his situation. Does that make sense? It was kind of a dig, but I tried to backtrack on that one. Because that's the way I always looked at it anytime I worked in a restaurant was, well, how fast can I become a manager? And that was always my goal, is I would always want to try to become a manager as quick as possible. And that was just by learning everything I can and being as good at it as I can. And that's how you get promoted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it just kind of is a glimpse at what some people will do to try to avoid work. How about you set a dumpster on fire? Oh, that's a great idea. Then I won't have to work. Or stay with me on this one. You earn your fucking paycheck and you grind, bitch. Grind. Shit. Could you imagine if you're like friends with that guy and he's like sitting there bitching and complaining about work? And then maybe you like work with him and he's like, I got an idea. This is stupid. I'm tired of working. Why, dude? It's making time fly. No, this is bullshit. Next thing you know, smoke alarms are going off, and then you hear fire department show up. God, I got it, guys. Enjoy your day off. You're welcome. You fucker lit the goddamn dumpster on fire, you fucking nut job. Anyway, speaking of fast food, I saw this and it just makes me laugh. Because we had talked about this before it was implemented, and then it took place, and then chaos ensued, and now there's more to the story. California fast food workers want to go from $20 an hour to $20.70 an hour for minimum wage. They want to increase. They just got it increased, at the beginning of the year? And they're like, you know what? We want more before the year is up. Meanwhile, all these restaurants throughout the state of California have had to shut down because they can't afford to keep up with the high labor costs, because that's part of the equation to keep things running. God, fucking idiots. And this is being encouraged by the local union for fast food workers out there. And they're like, no, they deserve 70 cents more an hour. Listen, that might not seem like a lot, but if you're a smaller restaurant or a restaurant that doesn't have a lot of business, you got a couple options. One, you can set a dumpster on fire and get people out of your business, or you know, or if you want to stay open, you'd have to increase prices to offset the higher wages, and then you're going to have upset customers, and basically you're not going to have as much flow of customers because it's going to be a little bit more outrageous at your restaurant to buy, let's say, a burger and fries. Which, by the way, I got to say this real quick. Side note before I forget. Jimmy John's has a $10 value menu that's coming out. I want to say it's like a small soda, 8-inch sub, chips, and maybe a cookie for $10. This day and age, that's not bad. That's not bad. So look for that, okay? Listen, I'm just helping you out. That's a good deal. I don't remember what they call it, but they have some special name for it. But that's not bad at all. $10 for all that. Even if you don't get chips and a cookie, even if it's just chips or a cookie, that's still a good deal. This day and age, not bad. But going back to this whole California nonsense, when's this going to stop? You guys sit there, bitch, and complain about inflation and things costing more. And then you're like, well, we need to be paid more. Okay, well, we're going to pay you more. But guess what ends up happening? Everybody else that has to obey that is going to have to increase their food, and then blah, blah, blah. You see how it's a cycle? It's a big cycle. Okay, wages go up. Okay, well, that means that food is going to have to go up, and then the customers are going to be upset. And, it's just nobody's going to be happy. It's ridiculous. 70 cents more. You just got a whole big giant clump of more. Now you're like, that's not good enough. My goodness. That would suck to be out there. I know there's some exemptions for like super small restaurants out there. But that being said, who would want to work there? Because if you're like, well, it's probably a more fair environment overall for the customer. But would you, as a employee, where would you rather work? Well, I'm making $20 an hour here, or I'm making, $13 an hour there. What a hot fucking mess. Hot fucking mess. This is why there's some countries out there, and we're heading down that path, where the dollar just means nothing. And that's what you keep increasing that shit. Basically, you're going to be making $100 an hour. You're going to be a quote unquote millionaire one day. And that's going to mean jack shit, because we're just inflating everything around us. It's absurd. California, you are a hot pile of shit. What in the fuck? You got to stop. Got to stop. You know what? It's going to make you want to keep going and just put you in a good mood. High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. It's the first and only licensed cannabis bar in the state of Colorado. It works like an alcohol bar, but it's for cannabis. So cool when you go in there. And when you swing by, you can purchase and consume on site. Like I said, you can purchase up to an ounce of flour, 8 grams of concentrate. They got pre-rolls. They got edibles. And they have everything you need to consume it with. And how neat is that? So, and if you miss it, you can buy it, try it, consume as much as you want on site, and then take the rest home. How freaking neat is that? High Society has 7 big screen TVs so you can catch your favorite sporting events. Football season started, guys. We just had the Hall of Fame game. Broncos play this weekend. Can't wait. So what a great place to go hang out, get your mind right, and just watch your favorite sports. Maybe it's baseball, maybe it's football, whatever it is. Maybe it's just the Olympics. You can go and hang out at High Society. They also got Nintendo Switches available to rent, tons of free board games. They got a quarter arcade with pinball machines, vintage Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and more. It is such a fun place to just go chill, relax. And they're open daily from noon to 10. Happy hour runs from noon to 4:20, Monday through Friday. High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. It's just 9 minutes from Coors Field. Got to be at least 21 or older to consume. No outside product. You buy it there. High Society's at 7667 Washington Street. Just GPS to High Society. So I was on my favorite Twitter account. What is it? Facts of World spelled with a 0. And they always have some random shit. This is one of the things that they posted. Sorry, I'm tired. I didn't have coffee today. Oh my God. What if I listen to me? Okay, sorry. I'm tired. But this is so funny. I'm going to give you a couple of their random tweets. You have the power to easily bite off your finger. Ooh, gross. But your brain prevents you from doing so. Doesn't that kind of, in a weird, twisted way, make you want to chew on your finger just to see how far you could go? I could kind of see that where we do have the power to just, and bite your finger off. But thankfully our brains won't allow that. But that being said, if you're fighting for your life and somehow their finger's right there, yeah, I'm biting the shit out of that thing. But my luck, I'd choke on the finger. That'd be horrible. I've like tried to get somebody off of me, and they're like, their hands on my face, and next thing I'm like, and I bite their finger off, right? And the guy's screaming, and I'm like smiling with like blood and a pinky finger hanging out my mouth. Then I like laugh or something. Then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm choking. I'm choking on your finger. That'd be horrible. But it's possible. And I would do that. I always tell my kids, if you're fighting for your life, you do everything you can. I don't care if that means ripping off ears, gouging out eyeballs, and I'll add biting fingers. Be like, bite it like you're mad at it, okay? I like that, okay? This is another tweet that they posted. Adam West and Frank Gorshin. They were the original Batman, and that was Adam West. Frank Gorshin was the Riddler. Both of them were kicked out of an orgy because they refused to stop acting like Batman and the Riddler during the orgy. That's so funny. That's so funny. That makes me respect them so much more. First of all, I'm not an orgy guy. I'm not. I can't, I could never do that. There's just too much going on. Too much. Ooh, Jesus. But it makes me wonder, like, if I was ever at that, like, let's say I was an orgy guy and I'm there with a friend, which is just weird to say. But if I'm at an orgy with a buddy and they're like, hey, do Cowboy Duff the entire time at the orgy. Hey, everybody, it's Cowboy Duff. Who's ready to fuck? Boy, oh boy, I am all balls in this singlet. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. Next time you see Adam West on TV, I believe he passed away a while back. Just remember that. He got kicked out of an orgy for acting like Batman. I just would have loved to have seen that. Like, you wonder what they were doing. Like, they were rappelling down completely naked. I'd just be like, I'll get you, Riddler. And he's like, nah, ha, you won't get me, Batman. Oink, 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 oink. Whoa, holy shit. It's getting graphic in here. Weird, weird. But I applaud you fellas. They should be in the Hall of Fame of something for that. This wasn't from that Twitter site, but I did see it. Is a Dallas bar is known for this weekly activity. It's the bar is called the Whippersnapper. And if you live in Dallas and you've ever been to the Whippersnapper, you got to tell me if this is true or not, because you never know. Never know if people over exaggerate. Apparently, every week they host a dildo race where they have their dildos. At first, I was like, wait, who's writing these? What's happening? And then no. You start reading along and it's just like they turn them on and they vibrate and they go whatever. That's freaking weird. Who decides to come up with that? And then, is there certain sizes? Somebody's going to come in there and be like, lay boom. Like, there's my dildo. Holy shit, it looks like a tree trunk. Yeah, I got it from my daddy. It was his. Pass it along to me before he died. That's gross. That's gross. Anyway, next time you're in Dallas, head on over to the Whippersnapper and take pictures. I want to see it. Hey, you know what we need to do real quick? Let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
Well, this comes in from Jake C. He says, is Bo Nix the guy for the Denver Broncos? Okay, yes, I'm a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde on this episode, and that's fine, because now we're bringing up sports. But to go to Jake's point, to his question, is Bo Nix the guy for the Denver Broncos? Yes, he is. And I played you that soundbite from Cody Rourke of Mile High Sports at the beginning of the show.
Social media pisses me off. I'm over it.
And the reason why he brought that up is yesterday I was cutting up a soundbite of his, and or I was cutting up video from an interview he did with Sandy Clough and Sean Drotar, and he got all pissed off because he's like, I can't wrap my head around the sports entities, these alleged reporters that are saying, oh, there's a quarterback battle going on. There's no quarterback battle. That's just nonsense. That's them. That's people trying to create controversy so people pay attention to them, whether that means paying attention to them via social media or it's them for their websites, their podcast, or their radio show. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I've been cutting up all these videos of Broncos training camp, and that being said, I haven't gone out this year. I don't want to deal with the heat. I'm a bitch when it comes to heat. We already discussed that. But everything that I have heard from the people that are there and are actually paying attention is if there's a battle, it's a very slight battle between Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix, but everybody could see from the beginning that Bo Nix just needed to get his feet under him, and then before you knew it, you could see that he was going to advance. And there is absolutely no question that Bo Nix is the starting quarterback. Jarrett Stidham is the number 2 quarterback. And then it's like, oh, shit, Zach Wilson, I forgot you were there. He's that scene from Tombstone where they're like, "Oh, Johnny, I forgot you were there. You may go now." Well, I think I have that soundbite right here. This is damn it. I don't remember. I can't find it. The only thing I have is like, I smoked pot with Johnny Hopkins. I forgot you were there. But anyway, so that's the funny thing is there's really no debate. I'll be surprised if the Broncos keep Zach Wilson on the roster. I from everything I'm hearing, it doesn't make sense for him to be there. You go with Bo Nix, and I think it's like Peyton Manning was saying it. I'm listening to guys like Nate Lundy. I'm listening to guys like Cody Rourke. They're all saying the same thing: is just let him play. Let Bo Nix play. Let him make his mistakes. Let him learn from his mistakes, and let him move forward. We say that all the time here. Success is built upon your failures. You got to let them fail. And that's something that the Denver Broncos organization hasn't really done a good job with in the past with quarterbacks. Is just put them out there, let them fail, let them work out the kinks, and let them move forward. Not to say that, Paxton Lynch was a future franchise quarterback for the Denver Broncos. No, I think he was just terrible, and the writing was on the wall. But there's times where you see a quarterback who doesn't seem like he gets a fair shake, and not just with the Denver Broncos, just the league in general. And people are just like, no, we need this quick fix. They need to be, the next Tom Brady. Well, that's not how it works. They got to figure their shit out. They got to get knocked to the ground so they know how to get back up. It's very cliche, but it makes a lot of fucking sense. These guys are right. Bo Nix needs to start. Anybody that's saying other than that, they're full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're a bunch of idiots. I'm sorry. You got to play them. If Peyton Manning is telling you that you need to start Bo Nix as quarterback for the Denver Broncos and let him fail in order to let him succeed, if he's saying that, and Joe Schmo, who's just been in the media for, 20 years or less, who are you going to side with? Well, it's not going to be the media nerd. I'm going with the guy that knows football inside and out and who thrived because he failed. Let's not forget, Peyton Manning struggled was it his first 2 seasons? Definitely his first season. That's how you learn. As long as you have the right mentality and the right skills, then you can achieve greatness. Is Bo Nix going to be the next Tom Brady? Is he going to be the next Peyton Manning? Is he going to be the next John Elway? I don't know. But you got to give him a shot. You got to give him the opportunity to move forward. I look back on in completely different industry, but when I first started in radio, I failed a lot. I know, big surprise. Big surprise. I fucked up a lot. And thankfully, the company was so desperate for help, they had to look past it. And it scared the shit out of me because I knew that, like, when I fucked something up, I was like, I can't do that again because I'm going to get fired. So I wouldn't make that mistake again. I just ended up making other mistakes. And thankfully, it wasn't ever to the point where it was officially fireable. But I worked at it and I feared making mistakes, and that made me better at my job. And depending on who you talk to, that was good. I don't want to toot my own horn, but ooh, yeah, I was pretty good. I was, okay? You have to make mistakes in order to learn how to succeed. Um, I wear this shirt that Mark Schlereth, he used to have a company called Clubhouse Gear, and it was a t-shirt company, and he would have all these different sayings on it that he would hear from his coaches and he would hear from his dad when he was growing up. And one of them is embrace the suck. Now, at first when people see that, they think it's a sexual thing, but it's not. It's embrace the suck. Embrace your failures in order to succeed. And that's what you have to do, because you're not going to learn anything if you don't fail. If everything just goes your way, it's not really helping you. I would rather have the guy that has been knocked to the dirt several times and gets back up and learns from their mistakes. I would rather that on my team, whatever we're doing, whether it's sports or business. I want somebody that's been knocked around and refuses to give up and constantly gets back up and keeps on fighting. That's why I'm looking at Bo Nix needs to start, and he is the guy for the Denver Broncos. I'll eat my words if he ends up being a complete trash. But one thing that, like Cody brought up, was, you guys, this isn't Madden football. Okay? If he makes a mistake, he has a shitty game. Don't just be like, "Oh, well, he's a bust. He sucks." No, you can't do that. You got to give people opportunities to learn from their mistakes and to move on. If he is a complete shit show, okay, that's another thing. I don't think that's what's going to happen with Bo Nix. I jokingly at the barbecue this past weekend said that Bo Nix is the savior of the Denver Broncos. I'm saying it tongue in cheek, but deep down, I got that vibe from him, man. He could be the answer for the Broncos quarterback woes. It doesn't mean that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Does not mean that. But it does mean in my mind that he is going to settle a lot of uneasiness at that position for Denver Broncos and Broncos country. I'm ready to ride the Bo Nix wave and see how far it takes us. But you got to let him play in order to ride that wave. So, Jake, hopefully that answers your question. And the reason why Cody said that he was pissed off at social media is because everybody's just saying, like I said before, is just everybody's just like, "Oh, there's a QB battle," and blah, blah, blah. No, there's not. There's not. There never really was. Maybe for like a half a day. That's about it. That's about it. People just want the clicks. It's clickbait, man. That's all that is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining the show. If you want to be like Jake and partake in the show, please, I love it when you do. Hit me up, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also hit me up on social at dehuffpodcast. Hold on. I got a whole bunch of new mailbags that just came in. Matt Foley said, "I'm not that funny. That's why I listen to you," because I asked for for things. If I said, "Is there anything you guys want me to hit on, especially if they're funny?" Okay, way to go, Matt. Hashtag Mile High Basketball said, "How awkward would it be getting finger banged by a Wolverine?" Boy, I don't know how many times I've thought about that one. That would that would suck. You're like, assuming that I'm a lady, you're like, "Oh, you're doing a great job," and then like all of a sudden he gets mad, or like he's not fully, his attention's not fully on me. It's not. He's watching TV, then he sees some news story come on, and he gets mad. Next thing you know, I'm on a fork. Okay, not cool, dude. Not cool. Terry Fry said, "How many teams are in the Big 12 and Big 10 and Big 12 now?" Good fucking question. No fucking idea. 10 and 12? Who fucking knows? Who knows? So it's a mystery. I have no idea, Terry. I don't pay attention to that nonsense. You jerk. So funny. I hope you guys had a great day. Hopefully, you smile a little bit in this episode. I really appreciate everybody reaching out and joining the show. You guys are amazing. School's almost here. For you parents out there that are in the same situation as me, it's almost there. It's almost there. Okay? Freedom is over the hill. We will make it. We will make it. Oh, I can't wait. Then you're going to deal with the nonsense of school life where you got somebody being a dick at school to your kid or your kids being a dick to kids at school. Oh, I can't wait for that. Well, which is better? I don't know. It's a great debate. Anyway, thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for listening. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Big thanks to High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge, and of course, Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. It's the Huff Uncensored. You guys have an amazing day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.